barefoot. We're going to do an activity with our feet. Because one of the things we're talking about today is grounding. So,
Okay.
kind of a recap. What happened?
No, good.
From last week. Did anyone find themselves being more meditative or mindful this week about perhaps their eating or just the way that they kind of connected to things? Can you share? Arlene, I know you mentioned you did your homework, so why don't you tell us a little?
I did more maybe subconsciously or consciously. Like when I would do anything, I'll take a second and be like, okay. So it would flow more, like my activities. Just like when I was with a student, I wouldn't be as like active. I'll settle back a little bit
Okay.
and like really go through the movements and everything. And found myself calmer.
Okay.
And then eating wise, like I will be eating and then I'm like, oh, okay. So I'll really think about what I'm eating, what am I putting into my body. So it made me feel better.
Excellent. Did it make you change food choices?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Versus the French fries, I was like, oh, you make me feel good. And then I went to the fruits and I was like, okay, I can do this.
Okay, excellent. Anyone else find themselves a little bit more mindful this week?
I was a little bit more patient, but it didn't work with the food.
Well, that's just class one. Today we're going to attempt the food again.
It didn't work with the food.
That's okay. And those are ingrained habits. And food is linked to childhood. And that's one of the reasons why we want to connect and become intimate with our food, because smells bring up emotions, tastes bring up emotions. So it's part of the reason why we use food as such a great mindfulness tool, because it helps us really get connected to a lot of those traumas or those memories that we have stored emotionally. So today we're going to do something called a body scan that's going to sort of get you connected to the body. And then we'll do the food activity, but those are all meant for us to get really into the body. So today we're going to talk a little bit about grounding, and I'm going to bring in some grounding smells. And the whole concept of mindfulness is to connect our mind and our body. So we hear the mind-body connection, but we're so dissociated from our bodies. We're always in a hurry, we're rushed, we're never present, that one of the best ways, and that's why we did the breathing last week, to get reconnected is just kind of get refocused and recentered. So grounding smells and grounding techniques that are easy, we'll do a little today, is another way to sort of get back into ourselves. That's the whole concept of mindfulness, the mind-body connection. And we can actually train our brain to be happier, to have more well-being, to slow down, to be more patient. And study after study has demonstrated that the more we do these activities, the longer these things last and the more change we can have in our life. So if after just 1 hour you're already becoming more conscientious, imagine after, 8 weeks, okay? Did you guys fill in your log? Did you keep track of your mindfulness logs that I passed out? And that's for you. But today I'm going to give you another one for the body scan activity, okay? So the first thing we're going to do, so everybody's just start sort of getting comfortable and take off your shoes. But we're first going to start with some grounding smells. When you hear the word grounding, what comes to mind? Earth, absolutely. And I spent 3 hours this morning talking about sort of how we're created from spirit into matter. And this idea, regardless of your religion, all religions, all philosophies sort of start with the idea of God or the spirit entity that wanted to experience itself, and therefore why the earth was created and why we all have a physical body. So we can all agree that there's something inside of us, whatever you call it, your soul or your spirit, and you all are confined by the physical body and we want to connect them. So grounding techniques are the ability to sort of reconnect the mind and the body when we tend to just go off. So we're going to do an activity with our feet, and the feet are the grounding sort of tool, the instrument, the roots of our body. So grounding techniques are intended to keep you rooted and connected to the earth rather than dissociated and off onto a million things. and keeping us present in the now, in this moment. We only have this moment. So whether it's a breath technique, or whether it's a yoga pose, or whether it's a smell, the idea is to bring us back to where we are. So we're gonna pass around a few things for you to smell. We're gonna start with holy stick. In Spanish, it's called palo santo. You can just light this, and this can start to just get you centered and grounded. It's phenomenal. You can also put it on the palms of your hands or the soles of your feet, and it helps to keep you grounded and get you back into your body. So it's a phenomenal, phenomenal smell. It's super cheap. They sell it at Whole Foods. You can buy it on Amazon, and it lasts a really long time. You might have to take the matches. So Adriana and I are going to pass around the holy stick. Just close your eyes and let the smell sort of ground you and center you. Just twirl it around. No, we're going to get up in a minute and we're going to do a grounding technique with our feet. But right now I just want you to let the holy stick, and we said that it's earth. And all of these things that we're going to smell today are earth-based. And the earth is symbolic of the body. So when the mind gets away from us, what we want is we want to get back into our body. So using these techniques, a simple thing like holy stick can help to just get us right back into the body. And then we're going to smell some sage, which is also very woodsy and earthy. And then I brought some sandalwood. And I'll pass that around for you guys to smell. So just close your eyes and connect with that scent and let go of whatever thoughts are affecting you and just come back into your body. Let the smell guide it. And remember, we're using the breath always as sort of a free available tool, and with scents, we can use the breath to get centered and refocused. So how does that feel? Did it make you feel lighter? Did you feel calmer? Okay, calmer. Okay, so holy stick is one of the best, super cheap, super available. You can even have that at your desk. Light it, and it's really good for cleansing the area. Sometimes we come into contact with people that sort of agitate us. We've all been there. So it's not only that we're agitated, but we're influenced by the energy of other people. And things like holy stick and sage can help calm the energy so that things sort of settle back to their base sort of pace. And then you can go on to the next student or your next project. The next thing we're going to smell is sage. Now sage is a little stronger, so it penetrates deeper. And if you've never seen sage, it usually comes like this. Sometimes people will light the whole thing and it's like a cloud of smoke. I just ripped off a little few pieces, and if you want to take some with you today, you can. And we're just going to light just small pieces, and you'll see that it stays penetrated much longer. You want to light a couple?
We should light, right?
Yeah. So close your eyes. And see if this smell centers you, grounds you, calms you. Maybe you don't like it as much. That's also part of what we're connecting to is, do we like certain smells? Does it conjure up any memory? your soul is on fire. Woo. Okay. Shaman in the house. Did you guys like this one? Did you like it more or less than the holy stick?
The holy stick.
So Bonnie was taken way back to the 1970s, and smells will evoke memories, and that's part of. No, I don't have patchouli. I didn't bring the patchouli, but I brought the sandalwood. Hi. So anyone dislike the sage? What did you feel?
Smell like weed.
Did it bring up a memory, or you just didn't like how it felt in your body? Okay. And sometimes people can't handle the sage. It's very strong. And that's what we just took a tiny little piece. So when I see clients before every session, I usually light holy stick, but sometimes I like the sage to sort of cleanse the energy. But I've heard that from a lot of clients. The sage could be too intense. Smells go directly to the brain and conjure up, and maybe you don't know how to articulate a particular memory, but it conjures up things. And again, we're making a mind-body connection. But some smells might be sort of like icky to some people. If you want to take some sage to your desk, I have plenty here. Next, I have two forms of sandalwood. So this sandalwood is powder. I got this from India, and you can open it and smell it. They sell it in all the temples. They smell a little different. And this one is sandalwood oil. And last week, someone had asked about sleeping better, and I mentioned sandalwood. Sandalwood is amazing for sleeping, not only because it's grounding, and that's obviously what we want to do when we're sleeping, but you can put it on the palms or on the soles of your feet, and it starts to ground you. So these smells are very grounding. Now, when we're talking about scents, like the sandalwood or the holy stick or the sage, we're talking about the root or the bark of the tree. When it comes to looking at the parts of the tree or the flower, the smelly sort of part is going to evoke a different thing than the roots or the trunk of the tree. So that's why they're grounding versus stimulating. So the ylang-ylang was much more stimulating last week, whereas the sandalwood is much more calming. So you can put some on your hands, you can smell the powder. Those are two different forms of sandalwood, also very, very grounding. And these are things that you can have at your desk. And the sage will take a little longer to dissipate. You can see it's already starting to go. But the sandalwood and the holy stick will immediately sort of get you centered. So if you're having a hard day, or you've had a hard client or student or a difficult situation, or you've received bad news, it's sort of a good way to get you centered and grounded immediately. These scents just immediately take you, okay? How many of you do yoga? Okay, oftentimes in yoga, in Shavasana, which is the corpse pose at the end, your teacher will go around and spray some different scents. And that's to get you back into the body, because in Shavasana you're sort of like loopy and leaving as you're resting. It's to get you back into the body so that you can go out and face the rest of the day. So these things are all intended to create that mind-body-spirit connection, but get you back into your body sort of quickly. And scents are really, useful for that. So speaking of yoga, first of all, I need everyone to take off their shoes. And we're going to do two grounding poses that you could do in a minute. You don't even have to stand up for one of them. We're going to stand up for both. But one of them you could do at your desk, and it really makes a difference if you set the mind-body connection and the intention. Remember, setting intention is super important in this work. That's part of creating the connection between the mind and the body. So everybody stand up. And what we're going to do is, everyone have their shoes off? And you could do this with socks, it's not a big deal. So I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to focus on your feet. very tall. And I want you to take a breath and direct the breath to the feet. Mentally imagine that the breath is being sent to the feet. And once you've connected your breath to your feet, I want you to imagine that roots are growing from the bottom of your feet. They're grabbing on to the floor. They're growing past the floor. They're connecting you to the root systems of the trees outside the building. And really feel what it is to be rooted and grounded, just like a tree, in your body. And keep the breath focused on the feet. And pay attention to the breath. Does it slow down as you get more rooted? Do you feel lighter in your body? Do you feel heavier in your body? Are you standing taller? And once you've created those roots, and you've connected them to the root system of the trees outside, and you feel that you're this tall, rooted being, you can slowly start to come back, breathe normally, and open your eyes. So who feels taller? I feel like I grew 2 inches. Who feels connected to nature, or who feels connected to the outside world? Okay, sometimes we're in this building for 8, 10, 12 hours, and we don't even have a second to go outside for some fresh air. We know that we need the sun. We know that we need nature. These are things that have been studied. And this is a way to get grounded. This is a way to connect to the outside world, even though you're in these 4 walls. What do you feel in your feet? Did your feet feel heavy? All of you? Okay, in a bad way or in a relaxed way, or what would you describe it as?
They just did, some good or bad,
Okay,
yeah.
you just felt them more.
Yeah.
Did it help to have the breath concentrated to
Yes.
that part of the area? Okay, and that is what we want to always, our go-to. What we always want to use is that breath. And Adriana's going to lead us in a few minutes to a body scan meditation where we're going to connect to all of the body. But a place can be hurting you, you can have some pain, and you can breathe through it by just focusing breath to that part of the body. So this activity sort of connects you to the roots, and it keeps us in the body. Oftentimes, and we deal with students that have had trauma, that are oftentimes feeling down on themselves, that are military students that have come from war. We're dealing with adult learners that have had lives and things happen to them. So this is a simple, simple technique that can have you sort of reconnected to the body. Because oftentimes when we have trauma, and we all have trauma of our own doing, our own sort of trauma, no matter how big or small it is, it's yours, we like to disconnect from the body. Because the body is the source of pain. And so we want to breathe through the pain, and we want to connect to the pain so that we can release those emotions rather than negate them. So this activity, and you can just take off your shoes, do this in your desk before your next appointment, gets you reconnected to your body and reconnected to the outside world, okay? So now we're gonna take it a step further, and we're gonna make this tree a tree pose, okay? So this is some yoga. You wanna demonstrate for us? Okay, and don't worry, if you can't balance or you're not, you just try whatever it is. Because once you kind of get it, he does yoga, once you kind of get it, what I want you to do is focus your breath on your solar plexus, which is the core that's gonna help you stand up like a tree. So you can pick where you wanna put your foot. You can put it close to your ankle, you can put it higher to your knee. And now I want you to send your breath to your core. And that's okay. That's okay. Just keep trying. Send your breath and your focus to your core. The core is what holds up the upper part of our body connected to the lower part of our body. So this is a great pose for balance. And balance is mental as much as physical. So send the focus, send the breath to your third chakra, your solar plexus. And the more focused you get on it, the easier it's going to become. And you can close your eyes. Oftentimes closing your eyes helps because it keeps you centered and focused. And you can move your leg a little lower if it's easier. And focus on the breath. Is anyone in pain? No one's in pain? Is anyone feeling a physical sensation? You can come down out of it now. Okay, so your hip hurt. So what was happening?
I'm losing balance.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have a heaviness in this leg as opposed to this.
Yeah, this one.
okay, you tried it on both?
Yeah,
Okay, and so the right leg
yeah.
is heavier
Then the left.
than the left. Just so you guys know, our body, our masculine polarity is the right side, and our feminine polarity is the left side. So oftentimes when we have pains in our right side, they could be dealing with trauma of the father or masculine traits or masculine energies, versus if you have pain on the left side, those could be dealing with feminine polarity, mother issues, feminine issues. So I had breast cancer 2 times on my left breast. So there were feminine polarity issues that I had to work through. So what happened? Did you notice if you sent the breath that it felt a little better?
Yes.
Okay, so we can direct our breath to the place of pain so that we can start breathing through that. Oftentimes, we do not want to be connected to the body because it hurts. Physically, you might have trauma or physical pain. I'm a little sore because I started the gym last week. So now every time I walk down the stairs or I do anything, I feel it. But I said the other day to a girlfriend of mine, I'm like, it feels so good because I feel so connected to the body. When I move, I know my body is here, and I tend to dissociate a lot. So the working out makes me feel like when I feel the pain, the soreness, it brings me back to the body. So connecting to the pain, not resisting the pain. And you send the breath to that part that hurts, and that's how you start working through. Did anybody have pain elsewhere?
In my ankle on the left side.
Okay, when you were doing it, did it bring up a memory or did it bring up any accident? It did?
Yeah.
Okay,
I sprained my
emotional?
ankle. I
You
sprained my
sprained
ankle
your
a year
ankle?
ago.
Okay, did you relive the incident?
Yeah.
Okay, oftentimes that's why we want to disconnect from the body, because who wants to relive trauma? But we hold trauma in ourselves. And if we can learn to breathe through it and not resist it and not disconnect from it, we can actually heal the emotional trauma that's there. So that's excellent. And you can redo this or focus energy, just like we did with the roots. You can go to that ankle and send that energy there, and you might notice that the trauma of that accident will start to subside. So focusing on pain, whatever kind of pain, rather than resisting it, is something that mindfulness works with, because it's the mind-body connection, and it forces us to release it. And Adriana's going to walk us through an entire body scan meditation in a minute. Anyone else feel anything when they were trying to balance? Did anyone have a lot of problems balancing? Yes?
I did, and for some reason when I closed my eyes was worse, was harder.
Interesting. Okay, that's good to know. So you know for you, and that's all personal, that you might feel better. You might be benefit focusing on one spot. That might help. Did sending the breath to the core help you get centered?
Yes, but it was more centering my vision to a spot that helped me more than anything else.
Okay, perfect. And that's oftentimes what we'll do if you do yoga, or if you are focusing on your body. Sending the energy to focusing on one spot will help with the balance and the control. I noticed that the more that I spoke and did this and directed the energy with my hands, the better I felt and the more balanced I felt. So picking a focal point, I happen to pick a focal point on my body, you might have picked it on the floor. Picking a focal point will help us get grounded. So that's another thing that you could do at your desk, is just stop for a minute, pick a point, send your breath to your solar plexus. This is the center core. This is also the center of self-worth. So when we're sending energy here and sending love here, and we're stopping for a moment, we're increasing the possibility for us to love ourselves a bit more. Okay? You guys can sit down now. So Adriana's going to guide us in a body scan meditation. Usually this is done lying down. So if you're going to do it for yourselves, you can lie down and you can walk yourself through this mentally. But since we're all in chairs, we're just going to get very relaxed. Get in whatever position is relaxed for you. If your palms are up, if your feet are on the floor, whatever it is to you. Just try not to cross your legs or your hands or anything. And the lights are off. Take these few minutes for you. And she's going to walk you through a body scan from toe to head to get you to relax and connect to each part of your body.
So we're going to do 4 different parts of the body, and I'll walk you through it. So right now what we're trying to do is being mindful of how we feel and let ourselves relax. So you can start by closing your eyes. And we're going to bring attention to your body. Whatever you feel is going to be okay. Start by bringing attention to your ankles. How do they feel right now in this moment? Do they feel hot or cold, itchy, tense? Do you have trouble feeling anything at all? However it is feeling right now, just bring your awareness to it. Just let the sensations be and bring awareness. Whether you're experiencing a pleasant sensation like relaxation or strength, or an unpleasant sensation like stress or pain, whatever is happening right now is okay. You can just fully accept it in this moment. With mindfulness, we practice embracing each part of our body with our love and attention. As you breathe in and out, you can say to yourself silently, breathing in, I am aware of my ankles. Breathing out, I smile to my ankles. If you have a sensation in your body, notice it. Watch it. How does it change when you bring your awareness to it?